So dear students, see in lesson number 3 we studied motion in one dimension, that is rectilinear motion. Now see the lesson number 4 is motion in a plane, that is a 2-dimension motion or a 3-dimension motion. See, 1-dimension motion we consider to be motion in a straight line. Okay. Now 2-dimension motion, see whenever we are playing carom, now let us say this is our striker. Okay. Now if we hit this by a striker, it will move either on this way or in this way. So this will be our x-axis and y-axis. So here its x and y coordinate also will change. So that motion we say is in a 2-dimension. And the 3-dimension motion, is, see suppose a bird is flying, see that will be or a aeroplane is flying, that is a 3-dimension motion. Okay. So in this lesson we have to study 2-dimension and 3-dimension motion. Now, but before going for this, we should know about scalar and vectors. Now see the physical quantity which require only magnitude to describe it fully is called physical quantity which require only magnitude to describe it fully is called scalar quantity. Let us say mass is a scalar quantity, work, time, these are all examples of scalar quantity. And vector quantity, see the physical quantity which require both magnitude and direction to describe it fully called okay. Now physical quantity which require both magnitude and direction to describe it fully is called vector quantity. See, weight or a force is a vector quantity. Then displacement, okay, then momentum, okay, is also a vector quantity. See, henceforth whenever we come across any new quantity, we will see it is a scalar or vector. Now in the third lesson we studied of distance and displacement. Then we call distance or a path length is a scalar, whereas displacement is a vector. See, the speed is scalar quantity and velocity is a vector quantity. Okay. So this is about scalar and vector. See, the physical quantity which require only magnitude to describe it fully is called scalar quantity. And physical quantity which require both magnitude and direction to describe it fully is called vector quantity. Okay. So mass, work, time, distance, speed are scalar quantity. See, the weight also is also a force, that will see displacement, velocity, momentum, all are vector quantity. Now let us see what is the need of the vector quantity. What is the need of the vector quantity? Now many a times we want to mention position, okay, with reference to some point. In that case we require magnitude. Let us say Ahmedabad Mumbai distance is roughly about 600 kilometers. Now suppose I want to represent 600 km on this green board. We cannot represent. But by taking suitable scale, we can easily represent it. Let us say, suppose I take scale 1 centimeter is 100 km. Okay. Now let us say A is our Ahmedabad and M is for Mumbai. Okay. Now this is our reference point. Okay, and this is a vector joining Ahmedabad and Mumbai. See what scale I have taken? 1 centimeter is 100 km. So this line AM will be 6 centimeter long, and this will be showing the position of Ahmedabad and Mumbai. So this is, we can say, 600 km. Okay. So here, what was our starting point? That was our reference point, Ahmedabad. And what is our end point? Mumbai. That is the final point. So what we have done here, by taking a suitable scale, see, we have shown position of 2 points with reference to one of the points. So this is how, by using the vector, we can represent some of the physical quantities suitably. So that is the need of the vector. Now how do we represent a vector? Let us say, see the vector joining Ahmedabad and Mumbai, let us say AM. Okay, but in our convenient way, we represent vector A, vector B, vector C, like this. Suppose a vector is joining P and Q, we can say it is PQ. Okay, starting from P and Q. Okay, now so a vector is a symbol is like this. He is a head or a tip, and this is a tail. Okay, so a vector is represented like this. Now suppose A is a vector, okay, then this modulus A, or simply A, is called the magnitude of vector. Okay, so this is a vector representation A. This is magnitude of vector. Either you can show by showing in the modulus, or simply by a vector A. Okay, so this is about a vector. So vector has a head, that is called tip, and a tail. Okay, now tip is generally at the starting point, and head shows the position. Now we see type of vectors. See, first is a free vector. Now see, vector can be drawn in any direction. Suppose I have to represent like this or this or this. Okay, so vector can be drawn in any direction. That is called free vector. Are called okay. So this is about the free vector. Now next we have to see equal vectors. See, vector having equal magnitude and same direction are called now let us see okay, what we see here, magnitude and direction both are equal, so there is an equal vector. Third is a parallel vectors. See, the vectors in same direction are called parallel vectors. Now let us say here okay, now what we see here, direction of A and B is same, but their magnitude is not equal. So the vectors in the same direction are called parallel vectors. Now next is anti-parallel vectors. So vectors in mutually opposite direction are called okay. Now see, we can show here, let us say A is 8. Okay, what we see, A and B are in mutually opposite direction. Okay, so they are anti-parallel vectors. First, free vector, we can, as I told, we can draw vector in any direction. They are called free vectors. Now equal vectors, see the vectors having equal magnitude and direction or same direction are called equal vectors. Okay, now parallel vectors, vector in the same direction are called parallel vectors, and anti-parallel vectors, vectors in the mutually opposite direction are called anti-parallel vectors. Okay, now next we have to see aparallel vectors. See vectors which are neither parallel nor anti-parallel are called now. See, in equal vector we have seen both magnitude and direction is same. See the parallel vector, magnitude may not be equal but direction is equal. Anti-parallel vector in a mutually opposite direction. See, let us say A is 7 and B is 3. Okay, now what we see, they are not parallel also, not anti-parallel also, so they are aparallel vectors. Okay, so the vectors which are neither parallel nor anti-parallel are called aparallel. Now next we have to see is a position vector. Okay, see vector showing position of a particle is called position vector. Now see, right now we start with the 2 dimension, later on we'll switch to 3 dimension. Now let us say P is a position, P is a particle. Now this is O is our origin or a reference point. So see, this OP is a vector connecting point O, origin, and particle P. See, the position vector generally is called R. Okay, so this is about position vector. Now see the combination of vector we have to see now. See, the vector combination is not like our simple arithmetic. They follow some definite laws for combination. Suppose you have to add 2 vectors or subtract, you have to multiply or divide. See, they follow some definite rules. So the vector combination is not like our simple arithmetic laws, but they follow some definite laws. What are that laws? That we have to see now. Now we start with the addition of 2 vectors. Okay, we start with the addition of 2 vectors. Okay, now see, addition of 2 vectors, we have got graphical methods, okay, which can be drawn on the graph and we can obtain it graphically. And second is a analytical method that will involve some equation or a formula. So broadly, two types. One is a graphical method. Here, see, this graphical method generally not in the asked in the examination, but see, at the beginner's level, you can use the graph and the ruler and pencil. See, it will be a great fun to understand this concept well. Now see, in analytical method, we will have some formula. See, generally in graphical method, we have a triangle law. Yeah? Or the parallelogram law. In analytical method, we will derive some formula. Now, we start with the triangle law of vector addition. Yeah. First is triangle law of vector addition. Now see, we have to remember important thing. See, the vector can be shifted by keeping their magnitude and direction same. Vector can be shifted by keeping their magnitude and direction is set. So that we have to keep in mind. Now triangle law of vector addition. See, we know that triangle there are three sides. Now let us say we have to add these two vectors A and B. Okay, we have to add these two vectors A and B. Now see, what do the triangle law of vector addition say? See, the two vectors to be added are represented as adjacent side of a triangle in such a way that on head of first vector, tail of second vector is kept. See, two vectors to be added are represented as adjacent side of a triangle in such a way on the head of the first vector, tail of the second vector is kept. See, the third side taken in opposite order represent resultant vector in magnitude and direction. Okay, that is two vectors to be added are represented as adjacent side of a triangle in such a way on the head of the first vector, tail of the second vector is kept. See, the third side taken in the opposite order represent the resultant vector in magnitude and direction. Now, as I told, vectors can be shifted by keeping their magnitude and direction is same. Now, so let us say vector A is, see, this is vector same magnitude. Let us say this is PQ. Okay, so what we see here, PQ is A. Now, see, on the head of the first vector, tail of the second vector is kept. Now this is second vector, this is the head of the first vector A, tail of the second vector, see, we have placed like this. Okay. Okay, so this is nothing but our vector B. See, on the head of the first vector, tail of the second vector is kept. See, the third side taken in the opposite order. Now this is PQ and QS is R. Okay, third side taken in the opposite order. See, what is opposite order? See, the PQ is going in this direction, QS is in, that is B in this direction. See, the third side will not go like this, but in opposite order. See, આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં કહીએ તો બે માથા ભેગા થવા જોઈએ. That you like sometimes. Okay? So this R is our resultant vector. So that is QS is nothing but B. Now in triangle PQS, PQ plus QS is PS. Okay? PQ plus QS is PS, that is R. That is A plus B is R. Okay? So this is about the triangle law. Okay? So this is how we can do this. These two vectors to be added are represented as adjacent side of a triangle in a such a way that is on the head of the first vector, tail of the second vector is kept. So this is PQ is represented A, and on the head of the first vector A, tail of the second vector is arranged. The third side, that is RS, okay, that is PS. Okay, third side, so the resultant vector in magnitude and direction. So this is about the triangle law of vector addition. Now, see, next we have to see the parallelogram law. So this is also one of the graphical method. Okay, second is a parallelogram law of vector addition. Okay, now see, we are familiar with the quadrilateral parallelogram. Now see, in a parallelogram there are two pair of parallel and equal sides. Okay, now see, let us say we have to add two vectors A and B. Now here two vectors to be added are represented adjacent side of parallelogram. Now let us say here this is the first side PQ and this shows vector A. Now we shift this, okay, M. Okay, now two vectors to be added are represented as adjacent side of a parallelogram. Now see, the parallelogram is completed by taking opposite side parallel and equal. Okay, we know the property of a parallelogram. See, these are parallel sides are opposite and equal. So here MS is parallel to MS. Okay, and this is our vector B. Okay, PM is B. Then I complete the parallelogram. Okay, that is PM is parallel to QS. Okay, now see, the diagonal of parallelogram represent resultant vector in magnitude and direction. Okay, now see what is parallelogram law. Two vectors to be added are represented as a adjacent side of a parallelogram, that is PQ and PM are adjacent side of a parallelogram. See, the parallelogram is completed by taking opposite side parallel and equal. This here is MS is parallel to PQ, okay, and QS is parallel to PM. So what we see, a parallelogram is completed. See, the diagonal of the parallelogram See, the diagonal is PS is R. Okay, so this diagonal PS represents the resultant vector in magnitude and direction. So this R PS is nothing but R. Okay, so this is about the parallelogram law of vector addition. Two vectors to be added are represented as adjacent side of parallelogram. See, the parallelogram is completed by taking opposite side parallel and equal. See, the diagonal of the parallelogram represent the resultant vector in magnitude and direction. Okay, now we have seen two methods for vector addition. One is a triangle law and second is a parallelogram law. Now one thing I want to show that, see, the parallelogram law is extension of triangle law, that we'll see in properties. Okay, now what are the properties of vector addition? Yeah. Now see, the first is vector addition is commutative. Now see, what is commutative? You studied in the tensor. 2 plus 3 is equal to, okay, 2 plus 3 is 5, here 3 plus 2 is 5. So we have to show that vector addition is a commutative. Now, as I told, the parallelogram law is an extension of the triangle law. Now let us say we use triangle law here, A and B, third side is resultant. Okay, now see, on the head of the vector A, tail of the vector B is third side is resultant. Now parallelogram law says that, see here, vector A, see this PM I draw parallel to the SQ, okay, okay, and MS I have taken parallel to PQ. Now these two are parallel, opposite side of parallelogram, so naturally this will be B. MS is parallel to PQ, that's why will be A. Now I use triangle law, okay, that is on the B, on the head of the B, tail of the A is kept, third side is the resultant. So if I add A and B, we get resultant as R. If I add B and A, then also we get resultant as R. So there is a property of the vector addition. Vector addition is commutative. Now next is a associative law. Associative. Now here we have to show that, see, three vectors A plus C okay, that is associative law. Now let us say vector A, okay, on the head of the vector A, tail of the vector B is kept, third side is the resultant. Okay, now we have added vector A and B, resultant is AB. Now for time being you forget A and B, individual ones. Now and the head of the A plus B, we kept the tail of the C. So what we get? Resultant. So what we have obtained here? A plus B plus C. Okay. Now next case, for the time being you do not consider this vector A. Now we have got two vectors B and C. So what do the triangle law says? See, on the head of the vector B, tail of the vector is kept C. See, the third side, this is B plus C. Okay, now see our vector A come to action again. See, on the head of the vector A, tail of the vector b plus c is kept. This is the first side of the triangle, this will be the second one, and the third will get as a plus b plus c. Okay, so first we obtain a plus b, then we added c, and second case we first obtain b plus c, then added resultant of b plus c to a, will get the same result. So this is the associative property. Okay, now these are the two important property of the vector addition. See, the vector addition is associative and vector addition is commutative. Now next we have to see the subtraction of two vectors. Okay, now there is some our algebraic method that we used earlier. Suppose we have to obtain 7 or perform C 7 minus 4. So what we are doing, see, we add opposite of 4 to the vector 7, that is subtraction of 4 from 7. Same thing we'll be doing here also. Okay, now let us say we want to obtain a and b, so we have to obtain subtract b vector from a. So what we do, first we obtain a opposite of vector b, that is minus b. Why same magnitude but opposite direction? That will be minus b. Then we use the triangle law. Okay, see, on the head of the vector a, let us say PQ is a. Now on the head of the vector a, tail of the minus b is kept. Now this is in opposite direction, minus b. Okay, so this QS is minus b. Now we have got two sides of a triangle ready. Okay, see, on the head of the first vector, tail of the second vector is kept. See, the third side taken in the opposite order represent the resultant vector. So this PS is our resultant, that is R. Now how do we write? See, in triangle PQS, PQ plus PS, sorry, QS is PS. Now this is A minus B, PS is R. So R is equal to A minus B. Okay, so this is how we can obtain R as a resultant here. So what is the subtraction of two vectors? Suppose we have to subtract B from vector A. So what we are doing, by using the taking the help of triangle law, see, we are adding opposite of vector B to vector A. This is nothing but triangle law for the vector subtraction. Now see, what we have studied today, we saw what are scalar and vector quantities. See, the physical quantity which require only magnitude to describe it fully is called scalar quantity. See, mass, time, distance, speed are scalar quantity. The physical quantity which require both magnitude and direction to describe it fully is called vector quantity. We saw what is the use of the vector or necessity of the vector. Then we saw type of the vector, free vectors, then equal vectors, parallel vectors, anti-parallel vectors, a-parallel vectors, position vectors. Then see, the vector operation, as I told, do not follow arithmetic law. It follows some definite law for combination. We started with the vector addition. Now in that we saw the triangle law of vector addition and parallelogram law of vector addition. We also saw subtraction of two vectors. We also the properties of vector addition. There is a vector addition is commutative, okay, and vector addition is vector associative also. But remember, see, the subtraction of two vectors is not commutative. Okay, that we have to keep in mind.